back in my office, just mussing up the hair, ready for filming. That's my pre-makeup session done. I'm just bobbing in because I'm filming episode 40. Well, the first part. I'm just taking a break actually for the next couple of weeks to film making a pattern. I think it's got to that point in my stage as a YouTuber that I've been showing you how to do things, but now I want to produce something, and therefore I just need the mental space, shall we say, to devise the pattern, trial it out myself, and then do a call out for testers. This is an interactive pattern, so using an Excel spreadsheet, which you can convert to a PDF. In fact, actually, if you've got the Acrobat software, you could create a PDF form and do the same thing basically. I'm not going to do that because my Adobe Acrobat is out of date by years. I don't think it would even work on my PC now. And it's pretty much very expensive to buy as a full suite. Although I'd love things like the Adobe Photoshop and all those kind of things. But, you know, it would come in the suite. So I'm just using the technology that I've got. Why make it more complicated? Is that just showing off? Yeah, basically. So, let me just think now. Yeah, so probably by the end of the month, episode 40 will be up. I'm currently up to writing the pattern. I've done all the calculations for the pattern. I'm now currently about to write the pattern. So yeah, I could do with some time to and headspace to make that happen. So therefore, I'm just bobbing in to say I'm taking a break for a little while. I'm not going, I'm just needing some time to work on this project, and then I'll be back to show you how I've got on. I also feel as if I've lost a lot of my creative joy, and that's a shame really. I think a lot of you ladies out there have lost their mums, and so probably understand a little more about this. Prior to losing mum, I was knitting as if my life depended upon it, and I would imagine that was due to pre-loss grief, which some of us who are caring for, or even at a distance, know the time is coming but don't know when. And it's like the that's more, seems to be more painful then than it is afterwards. Post-loss grief is numbing. It's kind of very strange. Beforehand I was so creative. Designs were just flying off my needles, but I needed that. I needed to be able to control the emotion, because the emotions could have just exploded out of control, and then I'm not able to function. So knitting was a great healer for me then. Post-loss grief is a different animal. I don't feel as if I have been quite emotional since. I've been quite numb, I suppose is the word. And so therefore my creative juices have plateaued. Although in the last week or so I have been knitting furiously again, which is good. I don't know what that means. What I worry about is my cycle of problems, and I seem to need problems to function better. I don't want that. I want to function better because I'm at last creating, because inside I'm happier with myself, you know? I'm kind of wondering how that feels, because I've had one thing after the other in the past 5 years, and it's like, it's not totally going away, because I've got, in October, I have to go for another annual scan with a mammogram. I don't want it to return, obviously, but the thing that kind of bothers me at the moment is that the last time when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, it was because after a very anxious time, and I think to myself, I don't really want to go to have a scan, because it worries me that maybe my anxiety is the cause of it. Who knows? Some of you guys that have dealt with these in the past will know where I'm coming from. So for the next few weeks, I'm just going to give myself a break. I've enjoyed videoing and vlogging and all the rest. And what I've decided to do is combine a lot of my garden and life in Orkney videos into one podcast. So you'll have a knitting podcast and you'll have my life in Orkney podcast underneath. I think that is better for my analytics as well, because people will see more of what I do. And it's, yes, the knitting has got its following, and a good following. Not so much the gardening and the life in Orkney, which I would like people to see, you know. I don't just knit. I live in a beautiful part of the world, and I create a garden in this beautiful part of the world. Everywhere we used to go when I was a child, and older, my dad would always make a garden, and he always used to create a beautiful garden. So did Mum help him as well. But he would build his own greenhouses. He would try growing certain vegetables in different places. And we did live in some places that were completely different from each other. So we used to live in the southwest of England, where you could grow mostly anything because you lived in a very temperate part of the country. And then we moved to the northeast and the northwest of England, and that was totally different because it was cooler. Didn't have the same Mediterranean style weather, and therefore he found it a challenge to try different things. And I've done that here in Orkney. I believe you can grow a lot more things here in Orkney than you think you can. But the main issue with us is the wind. So you can't keep your tomatoes outside because it's just too windy. They wouldn't survive it. Plus things like moulds and bacteria come in the wind, so they pick those up very much. I had them outside for a little while 2 or 3 years ago, got them into the greenhouse once it was sort of finished, and they just moulded and all sorts of problems I had with them. So yeah, you know, I like to share my life here in Orkney. I've only been here 5 years, but you know, it feels like home. So, and I don't feel that I'll ever go back to what was my home. Because it doesn't feel like home. This feels like home here in Orkney. So it's where I've made my home, and I would like to share that with you guys. So the break should do us all good. Because I look over some of the videos I've done recently, which I am really pleased with, but I can see where my calculations have been a little bit off. I've not given you the correct numbers sometimes, and that irritates me. Yeah, I should make notes, but I had made notes on some of those things and it still didn't seem to be right. So I thought, time now to make a pattern. And so that's what I'm working on for the next few weeks. So I've made 101 videos on my channel up to now. It's probably not the best time to stop, but I'm stopping because my next 100 videos I hope will be so much better and so much more interesting, and then we can play around with my new pattern and make new designs, incorporating lace patterns. How do you notice I've got my circular yoked cotton top on that I made, and that's based on my pattern design, although it was a little bit different because instead of knit one, increasing the next stitch all the way around the neckline bit, I doubled it by going knit one, yarn over needle, knit one, yarn over needle, knit one, yarn over needle, knit one. So I completely doubled it from 90 to 180. So therefore I've got a nice wide neckline as opposed to being up here. And that's okay when you want a cotton top and it's wants to stay cool. And we're having a beautiful day today. It's September the 8th. We had a massive thunderstorm last night, but today the skies are blue, the sun is shining, and it's quite warm. Yeah, I'm feeling quite warm, just even wearing this at the moment. I haven't checked what the degrees centigrade is here yet. I'll write it on the screen when I find out. So yeah, please come back. Please subscribe for some more videos coming up. And for the release of my pattern. And I noticed some of you have shared my videos with your friends. I can tell that when my analytics come up every week. So that's nice. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for liking and thank you for commenting, because the comments encouraged me to do more. It's hard to keep a video like this upbeat, but it is a very positive gap in my life, shall I say. It's a positive gap for 2 or 3 weeks, just to be able to produce something that I'll be proud of. In between times, I am actually away doing a few things on the mainland later on in the month. I would like to be able to go to the hairdressers, get my hair done. It's the first time in 6 months. It hasn't grown an awful lot, has it, for 6 months? No. But I would like to be able to go and get my hair done. Might do that next week. Yeah. So, take care of yourselves, everybody. I know a lot of you guys are going through difficult times. So, you know, just keep knitting as much as you can. It does help. And if you've lost some of your creative juices, it's only temporary. It will return as you start to feel more confident with your life again. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say today. And, you know, love to have your comments. I love to reply to them. I'm not going to stop replying to your comments. I will do over the next few weeks. But I just won't be doing as much podcasting this month. But hopefully back to it in October. And then in October we can film a little bit of life in Orkney if you've got problems, medical health problems. And here we have to fly to Aberdeen. So I shall have an enjoyable time filming my trip to Aberdeen. I might even take Malky with me this time. He's never been with me, you know, because during lockdown, only one of us was allowed to go. Unless you were limited in mobility, which I wasn't really. So he wasn't allowed to go with me. So I'm going to try and take him this time if we can. And he'll enjoy the flight as well. And we can have a little look around Aberdeen if we've got the time. Because we do it all in one day. We go early and come back later on. So yeah. All thankful to the connection between the NHS and the Highlands and Islands airports and Loganair, who provide that service for the islanders. Yeah. Anyway, I'm diversing as usual. So see you all again soon. And thanks for tuning in and keeping up with me, and nice to have some loyal friends that keep coming back to watch my next installments. Yeah, I do appreciate that. So, see you soon. I'm just about to start making up an interactive pattern, and these measurements I'm going to transfer now onto our Excel spreadsheet.